Hey guys, welcome back. Will here.
And Gary.
Today, if you guys like 300 Blackout, this is gonna be the video for you. We are gonna be manufacturing using the CP2000, our own 300 Blackout rounds. And then if you saw the previous video, the unboxing of the RL1100, we're gonna have a completed round, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm really excited. One of my favorite rounds to shoot. Let's get to it. Okay, so before we put the brass in the hopper, I know you mentioned, guys, you have to make sure you spray down and lube your brass, correct?
Correct. On a bottleneck rifle cartridge,
Okay.
failure to get enough lube will cause the case to stick up into the sized eye, rip the rim off, and generally make a chocolate mess.
That sounds terrible, so make sure you lube up the brass. All right, and we've already pre-done that, so we are good to go, and it's time to make some 300 rounds. Short guy problems.
To show the individual steps, let's just drop one piece of brass into the top of the case feed tube.
Okay. Can I have, off camera, can you throw me a brass? Bang. Thanks, Gary. All right, so we're gonna throw that in there. Perfect. All right.
Okay. So cycle the handle down,
Okay.
bring it up. Okay, what we've done is we've pushed the case into the shell plate, rotated the shell plate to the universal depriming die. All this is going to do is push the primer out.
Okay.
So if you pull the handle down,
Oh yeah.
primer dropped out.
Dropped out. Okay.
Comes up. Now we're
Okay.
over here at the swaging station. What this is going to do is there's an eccentric cam attached to a swage rod, and this is military brass, so there's a crimp around the primer pocket. What this does is this goes in and pushes that crimp back into the head of the case where it came from so that we can seat a new primer in there.
Okay.
The top die above it holds the case down into the shell plate so that we don't push it up through the top of the plate and bend the rim.
Okay.
So let's pull the handle down.
Okay.
You can see how that cams up just a little bit.
Yep.
You lift the handle up.
Brings
Okay.
over. And guys, I do want to mention one thing. We are, to make 300 Blackout, you are using 223 5.56 brass. So just in case you didn't know.
Next station is empty. Some people might want to add some aftermarket sensors, but otherwise you just pull the handle down,
Okay.
lift it up. Same thing over here.
Okay. Now, what kind of aftermarket sensors could you potentially add to this? What are we doing if we wanted to add to that?
They're cottage industries that have developed sensors to make sure the cases are deprimed.
Gotcha.
Check for crimps, or make sure it's not a Berdan prime case, things like that.
Okay.
Over here, we have the Dillon RT1500 trimmer.
Huh.
And what this is going to do is this is a gear motor that's spinning at about 4,500 RPM or so.
Okay.
And as the case is pushed up into the die, it's a 300 Blackout size die profile. So what's going to happen is the neck of that case is going to get pushed down and get really, really long. And as we feed it up in there, it's going to get shortened.
That's cool.
So when you operate the handle to trim this, you're going to operate it just like you were loading, meaning you're not going to be dainty and walk it down. You want to move the handle down forcefully.
Okay.
And so for that, let's at least turn the motor on.
Okay. Should we attach the vacuum to this?
Not at this point. We will when we actually start rocking and rolling.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Okay.
So now with this pull, it's just going to be a solid pull.
Just
all the
a
way
solid
down,
pull all the way
all
down.
the way
You're gonna lag momentarily at the bottom to
Okay.
deburr the case.
Okay.
And then lift up.
So say 1 Mississippi, or
Yeah.
even less.
Yeah, like 1,001.
Okay. You got it. Here we go.
Okay.
How was that?
Turn the motor off.
Okay. Off.
Lift out that little tab and that
Oh,
brass
that is
pin.
so cool. Look at that.
See what you've got.
That is awesome. Wow. So for comparison, this is what we started with, and that is what we made.
Yep.
That is super cool.
This next station is empty just because there's not room on that side for anything else to cycle
Okay.
handle down and up. Now what this last station is going to do in this configuration is it's going to run a heat-treated rod down inside that neck to open that neck up to a uniform inside diameter so that this brass is ready to load.
All right.
So
Cool.
down, and when you lift it up, it'll eject it into the bin.
Nice. So wait, are we good? We're at that point?
Yeah.
That's it?
That's
That was
it.
Super clean. Wow. So that is how you do 300 Blackout.
Yep, that's how you make the donuts.
That is so cool. All right, so we got to make a whole bunch more of these because when we go out to the range, one of this is not going to suffice.
100 won't suffice.
No, how many should we have?
1,000?
How many?
2,000?
Let's keep going, but yeah,
5,000?
let's get to it and let's load some ammo.
Okay, so let's hook up the vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
Because the vacuum cleaner draws the brass chips out of there, otherwise they'll end up winding up around the cutter shaft.
Okay, so that's drawing everything out. So if you didn't have this, it would just keep drawing. It would just essentially
just build up in there.
Gotcha. Okay. So
it's going to get really loud, really quick. So let's turn the case feeder on first.
okay, case feeder on. This is my favorite part. They're all just going to start dropping in. There they come. So we need this motor on. We need the vacuum on.
Yep.
And we are good, right?
So we're going to get noisy.
All right. So motor on. That is really loud, Gary.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really loud. Okay, so let's get a couple in there, and then I'll turn that on.
Yeah,
that's
so
gonna
let's
be
get
obnoxious.
cycle it around up to the point.
Okay. Boom. There's one. Okay. So we got the old primer. We are good.
Swaging.
Yep. Now we have 2 blanks. Okay, so now it's about to get really noisy, guys. We're good.
Faster.
Faster?
Faster.
I like the way you think. Yeah. Oh, this is awesome. This is unbelievable. I mean, this is every man's dream that wants 300 Blackout.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I am very excited.
Let's check the headspace
Yeah,
on one.
absolutely. Very important to do that.
Yep.
Make sure I'm doing a good job.
Look at that, flush with the
That
base.
is
That's
awesome.
like perfect. So
I like the word perfect. So guys, we're gonna go off camera. We're gonna load up a whole bunch. We're gonna make sure everything's perfect, and then we will meet you over at the RL 1100. Okay, so we have moved over to the RL 1100. Gary, you wanna grab the rounds that we made?
yep.
Sweet.
Okay, there's our brass,
Beautiful.
and we will dump that into the new hopper.
And remember guys, note, once again, when you're loading this, make sure you put oil on those rounds, correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. And what would that pretty much solve if there's
That'll
there's
keep
not?
you from having to figure out how the stuck case remover and our sizing die works.
Perfect. Okay. Food for thought. All right, Gary. I am really excited. What do I do next?
Okay, we need to load up the rest of the system. So
Okay.
flip that little lever up,
Okay.
pull that rod,
Out.
and we've already loaded the primers using the RF100 primer filler.
By the way, that thing was super cool. And
So
what do I
set
do with
that
this
on
thing?
top that's beveled in
Oh,
here, and then
I
you-
just pull it like a regular tube, right?
Yep, exactly.
Oh, so this is just a really fancy version.
Yep,
Are we good?
done.
And what are we using today? As far
It's
as,
a 147 grain full metal jacket,
okay.
and we're using just an out-of-the-book load of H110. It's been a proven load for us.
I do want to touch on one thing. The way we've configured everything here, we are going to be using 300 Blackout in a bow tail. And could you touch on that, what you talked about before? You'd have to switch some things up.
Yeah, the expander funnel, if you're shooting a polymer-coated lead bullet or a flat-base bullet, say you're loading a 110 grain 30 carbine or a lightweight bullet in 300 Blackout, you would need a different powder funnel in this station that would expand the case mouth so that you don't tear or damage the base of the bullet when you seat it into the case.
Okay.
Bow tails already tapered, they're self-guiding.
Awesome. What's next?
Okay, now we need one piece of brass. Let's drop it in the tube.
Okay. Boom.
Okay, first time you cycle the handle, it's just like the CP2000. It's gonna pull the plunger back, pick up the case, push the case into the shell plate.
All right.
So down, up, rotates.
Okay.
Okay, here, we're gonna resize and deprime, and the reason for that is if you've already got brass you've processed or you've bought somebody else's brass, size deprime just like you normally would. So handle down and up.
Okay.
Okay. The 1100 has a built-in primer pocket swager, again, just like the CP2000, so that if, again, you're processing brass, say you're loading 223, 556, it'll remove the crimp out of the primer pocket.
Wow, okay.
So let's cycle it again.
Okay.
Now, when we pull the handle down here, it's going to seat the primer. On the 1100, you seat primers on the downstroke. On the 750, you pushed forward at the end of the upstroke.
Right.
So this is designed, again, because it's faster operating, you don't have to worry about remembering that forward push.
Ah, okay.
So handle down, handle up, okay. We're gonna start dropping our powder charge. And just like we did on the 750, we're gonna take that powder out. Each time we're just gonna cycle it 10 times and dump it in there to settle the powder under the baffle.
Gotcha.
Then we'll double check the weight.
Okay,
So handle down,
okay.
up. There's one.
And you only have to do this one time.
Yeah.
Okay. So once everything's set up and we measure our powder, make sure we're happy with our amount, we're good to go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing about the Dillon is going to be consistency on each load.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So now this is the check.
Yep.
Okay. There we go. And what are we looking for?
Looking for about 16.
Ooh. What's that word? What's that word I like?
Perfect.
Perfect. That is 16 on the dot. That is a beautiful thing. That just makes you happy.
Here, we'll turn it around.
Yeah,
share it with the studio audience. Dump that one back in.
Okay.
Let's cycle the handle.
Okay.
Let's drop the powder charge.
Boom.
Cycle it again to get it past the station.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course.
Now, set a bullet on the case mouth.
All right, my favorite part. Drop that bad boy right there. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So we're good now, right?
Well, let's check the overall cartridge length to make sure.
So what is the length that we're actually looking for right now?
We're looking for 2.075 inches
Okay.
overall. We're at 2.066 inches.
So it's not perfect, but that could be considered
Golden.
golden.
Because a full metal jacket bullet, the tips are going to vary in length easily.
So we're good.
Yes.
Okay.
And the last one is the crimp. And because the bullets we're using have a little dotted line called a cannelore, you can crimp the case mouth into that to make sure that when the round feeds out of the magazine into the chamber, the bullet does not get pushed back into the case. Because if the bullet gets pushed back into the case and you fire it, pressures go up. Bad things can happen.
Interesting.
And up.
Okay, what are we looking for here?
Okay, right about 330, 332.
Okay, and we're at
330.
330. So well within the parameters.
Yeah, we're just fine.
Okay, perfect.
Because I would be satisfied to shoot that if I had a full auto suppressed 300 Blackout.
Really? And you feel very confident in that?
Yep.
Let's go make some rounds. Ooh. And of course, it's really important as you're doing this to just visually inspect things, you know, watch it, make sure everything's getting filled up. Good. Okay. All right, now I believe, is this the station?
That's the station.
That is the station. So I'm on here.
You have learned well, Grasser.
Well, I've learned from the best, sir. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna do that. So now you just got to get into a rhythm, I guess, at this point.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, once you get it down, it's pretty good.
Yeah, you're making a cycle, what, about every 4 seconds?
Yeah. And considering the fact that we are loading 300 Blackout is, in my opinion, a pretty big deal. So let me ask you this. You know, if I wanted to load 3, 4, 5,000 rounds, what's a good stopping point to do a check again. Check the dies, check your measurements, check your powder.
I usually check mine personally just when the bin's full and before I empty it, because that way if there is a problem, it's limited to just what's in the bin and not into the big ammo can that I'm dumping these into.
Perfect. So pretty much when your bin back here is filled up, go through the checks again, just make sure everything's good, and then you can go back to loading, right?
Exactly.
Well, Gary, I really appreciate this. I know I learned a tremendous amount about reloading on the XL750 with you, and now, definitely not a professional by any means, but anybody can do this at home. So if you're looking at loading a 300 Blackout, and of course you have multiple options on this machine, and if you're looking for speed and volume, the RL1100 is definitely a machine to look at. Gary, thank you very, very, very much, man.
My
really
pleasure.
Appreciate that very much.
Love working with you guys.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
a lot of fun.
it. Thank you. Remember, you can see all these products on DillonPrecision.com. Check out the Blue Press. It has all the little additional features you might want to add to your machine, and plus a bunch of other goodies. So until next time.